The second coming of Christ is when Christ comes into you. Christ is a representation of the Spirit of truth. And when the Spirit of truth is realized, as in the book of Revelation, your revelation, your apocalypse will happen. You will receive revelation of Christ within you, inside of you, the mind of Christ. Your mind will be able to grasp this concept, and every day will be a new stepping stone in the revision of your mind to the mind of Christ. This is the second coming of Christ. The Bible tells us that the second coming is not to be seen. It's not a physical action that's going to take place. Jesus even said, if anyone tells you, look low, look here, look there, look everywhere, specifically pointing out what it is people have done since his physical manifestation left this planet. Well, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Yes, he is everywhere, but it's a spiritual thing. The mind of Christ is very important, because by applying the mind of Christ daily, your mind is revised to the point where you think like Christ with everything. You will always have to battle against your flesh. One of the revelations of the mind of Christ is that Christ was a person just like us who had to battle against the flesh. He just had mastery. He had mastery over it from so many incarnations. I'm a person who believes that it is possible that just as we hear the story of Lucifer in the beginning of the Bible being the morning star and a good figure and with the Lord, with God, in the heavenly realm, which is the spirit realm, which is joined together with Source. Lucifer was joined together with Source. And there was iniquity found within the heart of Lucifer. So Lucifer was separated from Source. I believe Lucifer was cast to the earth meaning this physical realm was created at that time. This physical planet that we live on, this life that we know now in these physical bodies. I believe this is reference to that. And the iniquity in the heart of Lucifer took Lucifer back to a state of bareness, nakedness, without Source, without Source's love and light, without the revelation within him of all that was. He thought that it was him that was that beautiful. But without our other half, so to speak, we're not whole. So as we work our way back to wholeness and enlightenment, we experience this physical life. As you read the Bible, you learn that there were just tons of what the Bible calls heavenly hosts, heavenly beings, that, quote, fell with Lucifer. They agreed with his sentiment. They agreed with his train of thought. I believe that this is telling us how we got into this, whatever this is, this matrix. We got here through error. And the mind of Christ is how we get back to where we were before, to fullness, to oneness. Renewing our minds daily. Let's talk a little bit about the kinds of things that the Bible says Christ did while he was here in his physical time with us on the planet. The manifestation of the Christ itself is very similar to Buddha, for example. The teachings of Buddha, Krishna, and Jesus are they're the same. In the spirit of the word, they're the same. And that is what is important, the spirit of the word. As I was saying before, we are called to renew our minds daily. It is a walk that you start and that you finish when you're done. Until you come to consciousness that your mind needs to be revised, the work cannot begin. It's something that is inside of you, that is asleep until you wake up. Christ was known particularly for miracles, healings, casting out demons, multiplying wine and fish. He's known for his love and his self-sacrifice. These are all things that will be within us when we are a finished product. Christ said, "These things and greater things will those do who follow me." Have you seen that yet? I haven't. And I feel very strongly within myself that now is the time. We have so many opportunities. Every day we wake up with another chance to live and learn, to take the experiences that we have in our classroom, the experiences that happen within our lives, and to allow the Spirit of Truth to teach us how to react. And that's really how it happens. We listen to the Spirit of Truth within us, because when we wake up, we're now capable of hearing that still small voice within. Some people call it a conscience, some people call it God. None of those labels matter. What matters is if you actually learn to listen. We get too hung up on Satan. Satan's so evil. We give evil too much credit, quite frankly. Too focused on evil. On the Sermon on the Mount, Christ said, "Blessed are the pure at heart, for they shall see God." When you are pure within your heart, when you have the love of God within your heart, the love of source, the true love, unconditional love within you, when you understand how to love your neighbor, when you understand how to love. Let's turn this down a little bit. You'll see God everywhere. But you will still battle with your flesh, so to speak. You will still have thoughts come into your mind that you have to push out. You have to train your brain. This is not allowed here. This is allowed here. This is not allowed here. This is allowed here. And it's a daily battle within. This is why we're told we have to put on the mind of Christ. We have to put on the armor of God, the helmet of salvation, the sword of the Spirit, the breastplate of righteousness, the gird of truth, and cover our feet with the gospel of peace. All of those things translate into something that you will need mentally within to fight against what the Bible calls the fiery darts of the enemy. And I do believe that the enemy is within as well. Anyone hearing these words who is meant to hear these words will understand what I'm saying, and they will know that what I'm saying is true. Whereas those who are not ready to accept what I'm saying will not agree. I just ask you, if these words have touched you or affected you, or if they ring true with you, leave a comment. Let's make a connection. I believe we are meant to affect one another. The Bible tells us to bear one another's burdens. We're family working toward the same goal. With that being said, there are a lot of you out there who are going through things. Excuse me. Things that are making you distressed within your spirit and within your physical body. Things that you do not want in your will. Things that are not in your will and seem as though they're just happening to you as a thing that you can't control. We may not be able to control what comes our way, but we can control how we react and what we receive. And although I have not mastered the technique that I am sharing with you today, I'm on my way. And I know many of you are ready to hear this, which is why I have to bring this message right now. We do not have to receive what is not good. If we perceive something that is not good, we will perceive this with all wisdom. And we do not have to receive it. How we respond to the information given to us, whether it's verbally from a doctor or from what we can see with our own eyes or feel with our own body, anytime it's rooted in what the Bible calls evil, which is just the opposite of good, which is bad, it's not something that we need to receive. Christ taught us that nothing is impossible for him who believes. And I believe this with my whole heart, my whole being. How we choose to handle the information given to us, how we process it through our free will, which is in our brain, will translate into our spirit and will translate into our reality. It's almost as though the spirit trumps the physical. which is why miracles can happen. I believe this is exactly how Christ did the miracles that he did, and why Christ even said it was really hard for him to do miracles because of, like, in his own town, because of all the unbelief. You see, they knew him as a child, they knew him as a person, and it was really hard for them because they saw with their eyes and they experienced in a physical experience him just as a person. So when everyone started saying he's the Son of God and he's special and he can heal, they had doubt. Doubt is a killer of miracles. Faith comes from within. It is generated by what you believe. The Bible says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. You literally generate it within yourself. A lot of people pray for God to give them faith, but it's there within you. All you have to do is make up your mind on what you choose to believe. It's really that simple. And we get the opportunity every day to use faith with little aches and pains we get in our bodies. You know, if your foot's hurting, practice on that. If another part of your body is hurting, something completely benign and innocent, maybe you're just, it seems to be so easy, but when you actually do it, it's not. I'm not telling you that this is easy. I'm telling you that it's worth it. So when we receive some diagnosis, in order for that diagnosis to take manifestation, because clearly it was already manifesting in some way, which is why we went to a doctor to see what the doctor had to say. So the doctor revealed to us what's physically taking place within our body. We choose how we process that information. If we surrender our authority to the doctor, then we're going to do exactly what the doctor says. We're going to pay exactly the amount of money the doctor said for the exact treatments that the doctor told us we need. And we don't have to do that. We can put our faith in the authority of Christ. The authority of Christ, which Christ has the authority of all things. And it takes faith to believe that. We know through reading the Bible that Christ has the keys of death and Hades. If you believe that, if you believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ, the supernatural power that is in that will be transferred to you. And this is how it happens, guys. And I'm not speaking from a religious perspective. It's not just the death, burial, and resurrection of the person of Jesus. But if you believe in the supernatural, the power of the death, burial, and resurrection, the power of the sealing blood of Christ.
Can I bring my castle out here again?
That is what? It is your faith. It is your faith. It's Christ even said when he did miracles, Everyone's like, you know, thank you for doing this. And he's like, you know, it was your faith. Your faith brought your child back from the dead. Your faith in me brought Lazarus back to life. Heal the lepers, cast demons out. There was a specific instance in the Bible where a boy had a demon within him, which in my opinion was epilepsy. Because the boy's father had said, you know, this demon constantly, you know, throws him in the fire, makes him fall in the water, and he just has convulsions. It's trying to kill him. I think that they saw things a lot differently than we do, and anything evil is considered a demon. And I believe that over time that these things have become thought forms. But I think any illness is a demon. I think cancer is a demon. And I believe that we can cast it out. I believe we can cast out epilepsy. I believe we can cast them right the heck out of us through how we process the information. What do you believe about it? I'm just here to tell you guys that there is a massive army rising. An army that is filled with the Spirit of truth and equipped with the mind of Christ. And I don't know how long it's going to take for us to come to maturity. But when we do, this world is going to be completely transformed. And you're going to see the power of God at work again. Because I feel the calling within myself to share these words and to encourage those who may not have hope. Never give up your hope. Sometimes having hope can hurt just as bad as giving it up, but it's so worth it to never let go of it. Christ told us that if we have the faith of a mustard seed, we can move mountains. And I believe, because I believe that I have received the translation in the spirit of what that means. That means something to me, to my personal walk. There is a spiritual application, and there will be one for you as well. So if you have questions, feel free to ask questions. If you would like to leave comments, feel free to leave your comments. We're here to bear each other's burdens. Be in peace today. I love you guys.